Hey everybody, it's Greg Harrelson here, and we're going to talk about the journey of a lead, normal journey of lead. Do you ever get frustrated? I know I do, but have you ever gotten frustrated that you captured a new lead within our CRM, and next thing you know, you've made attempts and even left a voicemail, and they never call you back? Have you ever used the word like they're ghosting me or the term like, oh gosh, they're ghosting me and whatnot? You know, the reason why I asked the question is because, the answer that I want to share with you about that, or the information that I can share with you about that is that's all normal. It's all normal. That is the process. Maybe 30 years ago when I was first getting into the real estate business, when we did a lot of advertising on real estate book, homes and land, some of you might have heard of or remember something called Harmon Homes. These are all things that really most people are not doing. That's print advertising. When we were doing the print advertising back then, because there was no internet, when we were doing that, it was interesting that, that we would run an ad, a buyer would call. We would just pick up the phone and the buyer was calling like they were chasing us for information because they didn't have it readily available. But over time things have changed, and it's just the industry has changed, and therefore the way that buyers approach real estate agents are totally different. They're not approaching us for information as much as they used to. They a lot of times are approaching us for access more than they are information because they're checking out all the information online. Our websites, other websites, national portals, you name it, the schools, crime rate. Gosh, they can look up the owner, they can look up the if the owner has any criminal record, just by address to county courthouse records to getting their name to then getting their telephone number, then going to forewarn. I mean, you name it, you know it. So you got to understand that buyers are not ghosting us. It's just that the industry no longer requires the buyer to chase us for information because the information's there. So I just was going to share with you like the normal journey of a lead. And when you find yourself in this position, use the word this is normal or use the word normal so you don't trigger negative emotions and then quit too early, because when instead of saying this is normal we say they are ghosting us, oh they're not serious, and once we label somebody as not serious or when we say they're ghosting us, then we tend to put forth less effort. So our labeling of the lead dictates the amount of effort we put towards the lead, and the amount of effort we put towards the lead is going to dictate the results of the lead. Here's the journey. We capture a lead. Lead is captured. Call them fast. If there's no answer, call them again. We call that the double dial. Then text them. If no answer, set them up on a workflow so you have a drip program going out on them. Later on in the day, call them again. If they open up one of your emails or they search on the website, react to that engagement. That's engagement. React to it. React by texting them or calling them at the same time that they know that you know that they're fully involved in the real estate search again. Set up property alerts based on what they were searching. Even if they didn't favorite something, go ahead and set up some sort of search filter so they can get alerts on properties that are similar to what they were searching when they first got on. And make sure that, when you're alerted, that they're engaged, to reach out to them, call them again. Periodically change their saved search criteria, refine it a little bit more, even to people that are not talking to you. Refine it a little bit more. Because if they're searching on your website, they're opening up and looking at properties, then they're engaging with you. Don't make it mean something negative if they're not ready to get on the phone with you. You are working with them at that moment. I understand we all want them on the phone. We all want to be showing properties to them. But all of this information, all of this journey that I've shared so far, this is a precursor to setting an appointment. Call them again. Change their saved search again. Keep refining it. Text them and let them know, hey, I just went ahead and made some changes. Let me know what you think at these properties. Then call them again. And you know what happens? Then you set an appointment. Or then you get, because of your consistency and the persistence, you get a response. But it does go like it. It does. Lead capture, call fast. No answer, call again. Text them. Set up on a workflow. Call again. React to their engagement. Search. Set them on search filter so they get alerted of new properties. When they engage to any of those, open an email. Call them. Then text them if they don't answer. And then change their saved search criteria. Refine it based on things that you're learning, things that they're looking at. Refine it. And then text them, let them know that you refined it. Call them, set appointment. See, again, my journey in the business has been interesting because in the beginning, it was do none of that. There was no such thing as lead captured. It was a call in off of an ad. They called in. The industry has went from buyers captured agents to now agents captured leads. But now there's hardly any reason for them to talk to us because the information's already out there. So that means they're going to do their research on your website for longer before they're willing to talk to you. And it frustrates us in our industry. And it's that frustration that requires us to say, you know what, we need new leads, more leads, new leads, more leads, thinking that over time we'll get somebody that's going to be like, new lead appointment, which we do get those. It's just a numbers game. But you know how many appointments are being set by the people that don't talk to us in the beginning, but they keep searching on our website, they keep engaging, and then when they're ready to now access property, that's when they start answering their phone, responding to our texts, responding to our emails. If somebody is ghosting you, they're not ghosting you, they're just not ready to access property at that moment. I mean, let's face it, if they did talk to you and they says, look, I'm not interested in looking at property for another month, but I am interested in doing something in a month or two, wouldn't you stay in touch with them? Yeah. Well, so just because they told you that when they talk to you doesn't mean that's not what others are doing that are not talking to you. They're doing the same thing. We're just making them wrong for the way that they're doing it. But let's face it, it's the way it works in today's industry. If you were at the exploratory phase of buying a new home, you wouldn't call another agent and just say, hey, I'm ready to look at homes. You'd go on the internet, you would peruse all these websites and do the same thing that they're doing. So sometimes we have to think about what it would be like to be the buyer and ask yourself, is their activity consistent with how you would act if you were in their shoes? And that's why I say call fast, call again, text them, workflow, call again, react to engagement, set up search filters, call again, change their saved search, text them, call them, appointment is set. That is the normal journey of a lead in today's industry. Doesn't matter what CRM, doesn't matter what website. That is the normal journey of a lead in today's real estate market. I hope you find that helpful. I'll talk to you next week.